In adventuring, as in business, you always have to seize the opportunity while it's there.
Hello everyone. Welcome to my stream. Oh god, I've got to sign back in. There we go. Oh wait, what the hell? Anyway, I streamed only 2 hours ago. And I'm now back from my little thing, and I haven't done any more of the quest except for leave the bank. So, so this is going to be a short stream because I only plan to, basically finish off this quest and do the rite of parting for the most definitely dead Rex Lapis.
Incoming!
Oh wait, there's a chest here. I swear I saw a exquisite chest pop up. Weird. Anyway, let's do the rite of parting. Instead of I'm starting tired, that the thing I did really tired me out.
You know that god from the ocean couldn't have just shown up out of nowhere. I mean, it's been 2,000 years since Rex Lapis subdued it.
Yes.
Yes, and to think that this happened right on the heels of the incident with Rex Lapis, too.
Say, do you think the person who assassinated our lord and released that evil god might have been one and the same?
Most likely.
Now that you mention it, that's very possible. Yes, it's very possible indeed. I mean, it all fits together. That person must have colluded with the evil god to harm Rex Lapis. Oh, that wicked, black-hearted scoundrel. Still, what sort of supernatural prowess must this person possess to be able to—
Ah, forget it. Guessing's no use to us. Look, the Millilith over there looks like he's about to make an announcement. Let's hear what—
Alright.
Speed of light!
Oh, well, since we're going through with this rite of parting, I guess it means that those rumors hit the nail on the head.
So Rex Lapis is really...
Oh, come on. Do you think that the assassin could have been a normal person? You know what I think? I don't think any of the gossip on the streets you hear from those shady types is worth anything. There's only one real possibility in my mind. I've heard that the assassin was that Fatui fellow. Youngish, pretty high in rank. I think they called him Child.
Child.
Fatui? They certainly are very suspicious. Who knows what those greedy, crooked folks...
Shh! Lower your voice. If the Fatui catch you in their sights, Rex Lapis won't be around to protect you this time.
Okay.
Incoming!
Hear ye all! The Chi-Sing's words.
Ooh.
Though a dragon soars ageless as the mountains, it too must return to dust. This is common knowledge. Gods and Adepti live glorious lives, but both light and shadow have their season. So too must they face divinely appointed trials. Rumors and hearsay abound on the streets that Rex Lapis was murdered. Now, let the truth be revealed.
Okay.
Having been thwarted in his trial, Rex Lapis's soul has recouped the celestial heights. He beseeches the people of Liyue to grieve not and to let not their hearts be saddened. Nor are they to believe street-born rumors or indulge in baseless speculation.
Okay.
Paimon needs a translation on what the Chi-Sing's announcement said.
Oh wait, which one is it?
So that something feels off. Why would they suddenly give up looking? Could the Chi-Sing already have known that Rex Lapis wasn't dead? Did Zhongli tell them in secret after his gnosis? Exactly, right? Ooh, see,
I wouldn't be surprised if you told them, because...
Speed of light.
Look, it's Ningguang and Kuching.
And
Are they
Ganyu.
saying something? Are their speeches over?
As said previously, Rex Lapis' soul returning to the heavens is the end of the contract. And it is also the end of an era.
3,700 years of contracts burnt and reduced to ash.
We, the people of Liyue, were indeed prosperous. But blinded by our prosperity, we forgot that time can be pitiless.
The long, unending dream of our Archon walking among us.
Now that we have awoken from our dream, we must learn to say farewell.
There seem to be more people here.
Will you stand with us as we
The
re-establish
population
our
is
contracts?
absolutely tiny.
As we build a new age of prosperity?
So concludes the words of Her Eminence the Tianquan. Does Her Eminence the Yuheng have anything to add?
Huh? Is she looking this way?
Traveler.
Yikes! She really is looking our way.
Is that the traveler who they say defeated the ancient god?
So young. The Liyue Qixing always repay their debts. And as you have heard, our eyes see far and our reach is long. Name your price. You deserve that much.
Whoa.
No, Paimon? No.
Well, could you help me put up some missing person posters?
Oh my god. I just thought of something. Oh my god, we spoke. Holy moly. We spoke. Guys, this is absolutely incredible. What on earth? What on earth? We spoke. What the fuck? I'm looking for my sister.
Why, you? Were you just trying to look cool earlier, or are you really that selfless?
I mean, it's better than getting Paimon to literally ask, can I have your golden bell?
If you were looking for someone, you could have just told me that in private.
That's good to know.
The cleanup of the premises, managing the crowds as they exit, making an account of the rite? There's much that remains to be done. I didn't miss anything, did I?
As for the mortals and adepti of Liyue, what shape shall our relationship take from now on?
Look at that bell.
Don't blink!
Oh, whoops. Whoops. I was unintentional.
Hey, Zhongli!
Hello there.
Look at this. Everyone in Liyue is caught up in their emotions, thinking that they'll never see Rex Lapis again. And here you are looking all relaxed.
Why would I not feel more at ease after laying down the burden I have borne for 3,700 years?
He has a fair point.
Right.
He needs a
If
break.
the two of you can spare the time, I should treat you to a meal at the Xinyu kiosk.
Ha! That sounds like big talk, Zhongli. Paimon might have believed you if you were treating us to some third-round knockout, but you'd have to pay out your nose just to stand inside Xinyu kiosk. Are you sure you can afford it?
I mean,
You're right. I do like the Mora.
But why would Morax lack Mora?
As the Rex Lapis Morax, I can easily create Mora. But since I have chosen to walk this earth as the mortal Zhongli, I should abide by the same rules that mortals do. When I was journeying with you, though I still had the Gnosis in hand, I knew that I must soon retire from my role as an Archon. So I had to rehearse a little for my new life.
Oh, no wonder. gets it now. You didn't look at the price tags when we were spending because you've never had to. But since you weren't used to not being able to just make more Mora as and when you wanted to, you had to try becoming a parasite to society who lives off of other people's credit.
That's...
Well, we were only spending Fatui money. You don't have to say it like that.
That's a fact.
In the City of Commerce, we do not merely exchange money or goods. We also exchange knowledge, memories, and foresight, as well as positions, roles, and lives. The Archon Morax could never experience life as the true mortal Zhongli could, no matter how many times he descended to be with his people. I must thank you for that. I will treasure the memories that I made as Zhongli, traveling the streets of Liyue with you.
I mean, you see a sort of way of doing it.
But there is no journey that does not end. No meetings without partings.
Have we been on each other for like a week?
Paimon thinks that we should make a move and continue our search for the Seven.
I fear that continuing your journey may be difficult. The nation that neighbors Liyue by sea, Inazuma, is presently closed. Yes, the nation has been closed by order of its deity, the Electro-Archon Ball. And just as the people of Liyue preferred to call me Rex Lapis, she too goes by another name among locals in Inazuma.
Paimon thinks we've heard that one before. Raiden?
That is the case. And since Raiden is also the Shogun of the Inazuma Bakufu, people call her the Raiden Shogun.
That said, though people at the wharf were saying that the situation in Inazuma is very tense, Paimon doesn't remember that always being the case. It wasn't that bad last year. Zhongli, since you're Rex Lapis, shouldn't you know something about what's happening there? Just how did Inazuma become
a good question
closed
for another
nation?
time,
It's because of visions.
Oh no. Oh wait, we'll be all good. Let's go!
When faced with circumstances beyond their control, humans often bemoan their lack of power. But if a person shows true strength of will at a desperate and fateful moment in their life, the gods will look upon them with favor. This is what visions are. Magical foci bestowed upon those who have been acknowledged by the gods.
Uh-huh. That's how people in Teyvat see it.
But starting from last year, the Raiden Shogun began promulgating the Vision Hunt Decree.
Vision Hunt Decree?
Murder anyone
Yes.
with a vision.
It was an order to seize all visions within Inazuma's borders, and to inlay them upon the hands of a statue of the 1,000-armed, 100-eyed god.
They want to seize visions. But why? Aren't visions blessings from the gods?
I should think that in the Raiden Shogun's eyes, it is precisely because they are divine blessings that they should be under the sole dominion of divinity.
Whoa, that's harsh.
The Animo Archon is the god of freedom, and the Geo Archon is the god of contracts. For her part, the Raiden Shogun is the god of eternity. It seems as though she has finally decided to eliminate any unstable elements that could pose a threat to her eternal realm. The fact that even I, the oldest of the seven, have now passed away, will only strengthen her resolve to pursue eternity. Knowing her, she must have again quoted that adage she is most fond of when proclaiming that decree to her people. 7 ideals for 7 gods, and of these, eternity is nearest unto heaven. All right then. Was there anything else you wish to know? Ah, that was a good one. Failing a divine trial. How they came up with that excuse, I will never know. That said, the reason why the Qixing were so eager to resolve the incident and stop pursuing the culprit was indeed because they received news in secret that Rex Lapis was not dead.
Because we kind of said it
I
out
hinted
loud.
as much to the Adepti as well. How did I accomplish that, you ask? have you ever heard of this particularly convenient Adepti art known as gifting dreams and
I love it because
visions?
it's convenient.
All right then. Was there anything else you wish to know?
I love it, it's convenient. So what about child?
About that. Before the Chising made their announcement, we listened to a lot of people talking on the way. Most of them put the blame for everything on Child.
Child.
These are indeed false accusations. But it remains undeniably true that Child did send people to the Jade Chamber to prevent the Adepti and the Chising from defeating the ancient god. I've heard that Ningguang is busy milking that for all it's worth on the foreign relations front at the moment, browbeating the envoys of the Fatui. Ha! Those poor Snezhnayan diplomats. If it were not for Child's exalted position as a harbinger, I'm certain that they would have shifted all the blame to him and called for his dismissal by now. All right then. Was there anything else you wish to know? The time of the Adepti has long passed. If even the Liyue Chising don't want to face that truth, Kuching is absolutely right in saying this.
Hey!
Now, though I did laud Ningguang's desire for power, believing this to be a good thing, and thought as a matter of course that she must have been behind the Chising's plan to take governing power over Liyue from the hands of the gods and Adepti. Could the original person who brought up the idea of seizing power have been... All right then. Was there anything else you wished to know?
You were just wondering about, actually.
That's right. Zhongli, now that you don't have your gnosis, what's going to happen to all the Mora in Teyvat? Since Morax is dead, are they all just gonna disappear?
Shit.
Also, isn't the Golden House the only mint in the entire continent? Will it even continue to work?
The Mora present now will not vanish. But the Golden House will indeed have to cease operations for a lengthy period of time, since creating Mora requires the use of the Geo-Archon's power.
Didn't think of that.
This is terrible! We're all about to run out of Mora! The world is coming to an end!
Yes, this is indeed a major issue from a financial standpoint.
But I'm on break, so fuck the world.
Well, I suppose we'll just leave such troublesome matters to the Liyue Chising to debate.
Then, did you at least set some private funds aside for yourself?
Oh, a private fund. This does seem like a good, logical, common-sense idea. It's a shame.
What's a shame?
It's a shame that I didn't think of it at the time. All right then. Was there anything else you wish to know? Well then, I suppose you'll have to find a way to get inside this closed nation. Have patience. I suspect that some serendipity must first come into play.
But I doubt it's any spoiler that Aether and his sister's going to come together. That was the point. But my just ask me one question. What quest? It's a bit. But there should be like what are the I could just do the teapot one.
Speed of light.
Children, come. You've arrived at just the right moment. I've been looking for you.
Oh,
Okay.
What is it, Granny? Need any help?
Oh, no. You've done so much for Liyue Harbor already. I could hardly ask for more. In fact, my old friends and I have been putting our heads together to think of what sort of gift we might give you in return.
A gift? For Paimon?
I know it's got majors. I'm sorry, one thing. Because having a look at my stream. Does not tell me what adventure rank. Okay.
Oh, child, you are so very modest. Uncommonly so, even. But you mustn't decline this gift. When you traversed my old teapot in search of the cleansing bell, I heard your little friend mention that you often camp out in the wilds. That simply won't do. Especially since I imagine you still have a very long journey ahead of you. Fortunately, I have not yet grown so old as to see my subspace creation abilities atrophy. Oh, did my friends never mention that to you? Well then, it is a blessing we old folks once received from Rex Lapis, part of our illumination, if you will. I will not go into too much detail, but subspace creation is the ability to create a small, autonomous pocket world. The teapot that you entered previously was a little
So, in the eyes of an Adeptus, creating a magic teapot world is just child's play.
Oh, indeed, the teapot is nothing to boast of. One such as myself must depart from this realm to create a world of one's own. Rex Lapis, on the other hand, moved mountains and seas. That is what one might call an exercise of true power. But that's enough nostalgia for now. The gift that I have prepared for you just requires a few final materials to add the finishing touch.
Oh, someone just came in and said first. Hello. I cannot pronounce it. Elsie Tanguilin. Okay. There we go. So, soldier, the gifts I prepared for you.
That's right! Findings!
Oh, settle down now, children.
Oh, thank God.
There's no need for you to go running hither and thither. I have already found a fleet-footed youngster to prepare what I need. What's more, I doubt that you would know how to find the materials I am searching for. Some of them are very rare indeed these days. Well, for starters, I require some shimmer soil from the banks of Dihua Marsh. Back in the day, it could only be found where the glazed lilies thrived most profusely. You would have to dig downward, following the roots of the glazed lilies. And if you were lucky enough, but almost no one has been able to find shimmer soil in this manner since Dihua Marsh came to be the way it is today. Even more difficult to find is smaragdus jadeite, which must be chiseled from the rock of the chasm. Or so it used to be. Ever since the Blackcliff Forge opened for business, they've slowly but surely stripped the mines all but completely bare of it. In any case, smaragdus jadeite is an adepti treasure, and the adeptal power within is not something that most humans can withstand. Extended contact with it is, in fact, harmful to humans. Goodness knows if that child was
Well, since you're an Adeptus, Granny, the person you asked for help, they...
Yes. I suppose she does count as an Adeptus.
Is it Gunny?
She counts? How come there are so many Adepti in Liyue Harbor? We seem to bump into them all the time. It feels like...
Oh, maybe so. Who can say? A fair few of my old friends are rather fond of mundane mortal life, after all.
I'm back, Granny. Oh,
hold on.
I don't believe we've met.
I swear I've seen this
Allow
character
me
before.
to do the honors. This child here is Yen Fei. She's the one helping run some errands for
I
me.
swear I've seen this character before.
Yen Fei, I believe you already heard of the traveler and his traveling companion.
Food.
Of course, who hasn't? Much has been written about you in the Millilith's records.
Oh,
You
so this is
became one of
Yen Fei.
Liyue's
Okay.
most wanted after the Millilith marked you as a suspect following the incident at the Rite of Dissension.
After which, you fought off the Millilith at Julian Karst
So
and
she
made
half like
contact
Anya?
with the Fatui. Before finally defeating an ancient god together with Granny and her associates, and subsequently being cleared of any and all suspicion by the Chising. What a shame. A shame that we didn't meet sooner.
Oh.
If we had, well, I can't say that I would have been able to clear you of suspicion immediately, but it certainly would have been less, embarrassing for you. Allow me to introduce myself once more. I'm Yenfei, a legal advisor. Got a legal problem? You can come right to me. Oh, yes, here's my business card. You'll find it has my contact details and office address.
She's very
Keep it handy.
magnetic.
If you have an urgent issue, just leave me a note at this address. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention, I offer a very generous discount for first-time customers.
All right, Yenfei, all right. Let's get to the business at hand. I do not think these two are in any dire need of legal assistance at the moment. You'll have to excuse Yenfei. She's always been like this, ever the talkative one.
Paimon was gonna ask the same question. You seem really different from the ones we've met before. An Adeptus? I guess. Kinda. My old man said he was one anyway. He mentioned that he once campaigned with Rex Lapis for a long old time, and then after that was all over, he went back and married my mom. They had me, and once I was all grown up, the two of them upped and left on a journey, leaving me with Granny here.
Alright.
Well, that's a bit casual for an Adeptus. Aren't you guys supposed to sign solemn contracts to protect Liyue Harbor and all that stuff? What do you mean he just went back to get married? Well, my dad did say that he'd talked it through with Rex Lapis and that he was fine with it. Even contributed towards the wedding gift, apparently.
Apparently.
Anyway, let's not dwell on that too much. So, Granny,
So where's
I've
this
gotten a hold
Adeptus?
of most of the stuff you asked for, except for Smaragdus Jadeite. I couldn't find any at all. The chasm's been sealed off, and there's just no way in. Couldn't secure any documentation either. Looks like the Ministry of Civil Affairs is serious about keeping it strictly locked down.
Is that so? Yenfei, are you sure you can't find some other way? They have helped Liyue.
I know, Granny, you've told me 1,000 times already. Well, the chasm's definitely a no-go, but there's still a chance we can figure out some alternative means of procurement. Hold on a moment. Let me have a look. Whoa, that's a really thick book. What kind of things do you write in there? Commercial consultancy. Or Snezhnaya. Ah, found him.
Him?
Crossel.
Oh,
A
wait.
Snezhnayan merchant who once came to me with some legal queries on certain articles in the legal codices. If my memory serves, all of them had to do with rare ores. He mentioned that he was considering acquiring some Smaragdus Jadeite to make hairpins, and wanted to know if there were any legal ramifications that he should be aware of. Said he was planning to sell them in Snezhnaya. So, I guess I'll go look for him. With any luck, he'll have gotten his hand— Oh, you want to join me?
No, I don't want to
that's
join
no
you.
problem.
Please die.
Wow, an Adeptus imploring us to avoid incurring legal liability. Well, that's a first for sure. Best we be a little more careful than usual while we're with her.
Alright, Oh. Honestly, I just keep looking at my quest and I'm sort of... Is there nothing else? Like, this wood? I know this world, I don't know if there's more, but... But I'm just looking at all these, I'm thinking, there should be more. Like, there's no story quest, it's like... Like, how do you continue with the Archon quest? I'll switch it up later, actually. Shall check... I should check chat, maybe. Nothing in chat. Crossroad. Hello there. Hello, sir.
Can't beat the atmosphere here.
Hello, Mr. Crossel.
How's business been?
Oh, good, very good. All thanks to your advice, Miss Yanfei. What brings you here today?
You're too kind. I was simply doing
Does
my
he have
job.
like his? Hold on.
Now, I believe that the last time we met, you mentioned that you were looking to source some Smaragdus jadeite to make hairpins. Have there been any further developments on this front?
Well, yes. As a matter of fact, in the end, I did acquire a small piece of Smaragdus jadeite and had it fashioned into a pair of hairpins. Miss Yanfei, might I presume that you have an interest in the hairpins? I must apologize. I've already rented them out to a lady named Zhi Qiao. If you'd like to inspect them, you may have to wait quite some time.
Wait, isn't Smaragdus jadeite really rare? Aren't you worried about the hair?
No, I'm not worried in the slightest, because I signed a contract with Miss Zhi Qiao before renting them to her. The contract makes it quite clear that if she loses or damages the item in question, she must compensate me for its full original value. In return, I included a clause that guarantees the Smaragdus jadeite is genuine, with a penalty of 10 times the item's value payable by me to Miss Zhi Qiao in the event that it is shown to be a fake.
Guaranteed genuine, with 10 times the value payable if this claim is shown to be false. Yes, these terms are very clear indeed.
Of course. This way, both the client and I have the assurance we need. To ensure fairness, each of us has retained an original copy.
In that case, might you know where Miss Xiao lives?
Oh, of course. She wrote her address down when we signed.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Crossell. We'll be off now.
We didn't ask how he got it. Alright. Why don't you just let him go about his business? And
incoming.
Just ask him where he got it.
Don't blink. Good.
Oh, whatever shall I do? Yes, that's me. Is there something I can help?
How do you do, Monsieur Chow? We understand from Mr. Crossell that you recently rented a pair of hairpins from him. My associates and I are very interested in them. Would you mind?
The hairpins? I don't know how it could have happened. I always kept them right by my side, and I hadn't even worn them yet.
Sounds like Granny just
I
stole them.
spent so much money on them. If I have to pay their original value... My family is in the ore business too, but business has been suffering ever since the chasm was sealed off.
What else the chasm sealed
We
off?
now have a backlog of paid-up orders just sitting around, so we've been having to purchase some stock from other ore merchants to complete them. A big banquet is coming up in a few days, and several ore merchants I know of will be there. I need this opportunity to mingle and discuss prices. That's what the hairpins were for, to keep up appearances. I can't have them looking down on me. But now that I've lost the hairpins, what will I do?
Why does Paimon have a sudden strong sense of danger?
Would you really? I sent a commission to the Adventurers Guild.
Hold on. Don't run off looking for the hairpins just yet. Monsieur Chow, would you let me have a look at the rental contract you signed?
Huh? Well, I mean, sure, I have it right here. Here you are.
Let me see.
That's right! Yanfei said she's a legal advisor, didn't she? True.
Right. I finished reading the contract. The terms are very clear, and they do indeed stipulate that. Furthermore, the contract also expressly states that the amount of compensation and given the rarity of Smaragdus jadeite, I fear that the
even higher. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
However, all of this is assuming that it is indeed genuine Smaragdus jadeite that was inlaid into the hairpins.
Did you really have to pause before saying that part? Anyway, the hairpins are lost, so whichever way you look at it, we
Elemental
gotta start by
thing?
finding those hairpins.
Except that if we found the hairpins, there'd no longer be any need to check whether the jadeite is genuine, would there?
Seems right.
Please. Please, however much it is, I will have to pay it. My family are merchants after all. It's vital that now that it's come to this, I really shouldn't keep Crossell in the dark any longer. I'll go in and...
Yes, legally speaking, it seems this is the most sensible. So hold on a moment, Mr. Chow. When you first touched the hairpins, what did you feel?
What did I feel? Well, I remember that the gemstones set into the pins were perfectly smooth to the touch, like the finest quality jade. My family has seen much jade pass through its hands in the past, so I am quite certain of my judgment in this matter.
Smooth to the touch. No, it's nothing. I just need to re-examine a few things. Let's head over.
This guy's a bit suspicious.
Ah, Miss
Because he seems to be
Yanfei,
doing
you've
fine,
returned.
despite...
With Miss Jiqiao in tow, too, I see. How are they? You lost them? Are you serious? Do you have any
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Truly I am. I'll pay the compensation.
Mora? Do you have any idea what I had to go through? I just don't... Forget it. Talking won't bring them back. Since Miss Yanfei is here, I suppose we can...
No problem. But before I can give an official estimate, I'll need to do a little market research. Ah, yes. And if I may just confirm again... It was in fact genuine smaragdus jadeite inlaid into the hairpins, correct?
Of course. Genuine article guaranteed, or I pay back 10 times the value.
All right, understood. I'll conduct some market research, and once I'm back, I'll provide an official assessment of the sum owed by Mr. Chow in compensation. Please wait here, Mr. Crossell.
Thank you very much. How could she lose my hairpins? She'd better pay every last mora that they're worth.
Looks like I'll have to find some way to raise that money.
Please wait, Mr. Chow. I have something to discuss with you. It's not convenient to speak here, so let's find somewhere that we can sit and talk in more detail.
You're gonna teleport everywhere.
Incoming!
Miss Yanfei, what is this about? Are you...
No. What I wanted to talk about is, there is a chance that the ore inlaid on those hairpins may not be...
What do you mean? Are you implying that you already sneaked off and found them?
Obviously not. I'm no adventurer, let alone a member of the guild. I don't run thankless, time-consuming errands for a living. Let's just say I made some deductions. I don't know if Granny told you this, but smaragdus jadeite is found deep underground and contains very concentrated elemental energy. If mere mortals come into contact with it, well, they'll be sick in the best case. And in the worst case, they could even experience a dramatic change of personality. It most certainly would not be smooth to the touch. Mr. Chow, did you at any time feel unwell while the hairpins were in your possession?
No, not at all. I felt perfectly fine the whole time. Not even the slightest bit unwell. I didn't feel anything special at all, in fact.
Now that is strange. I noticed earlier that there were elemental traces in Mr. Crossell's vicinity. If I've deduced correctly, he may still have the If
that's the case, we should go confront him.
Absolutely not. If we were to confront him now, there's no way he would admit to it. Eventually, he would find some argument to compel us to leave. And then, he'd throw the smaragdus jadeite into the sea the moment we were gone. After that, he would simply insist that Mr. Chow pay up per the contract. He would lose nothing. Meanwhile, we would have to look under every stone in Liyue, hoping and praying that the hairpins do actually still exist somewhere in this world.
So vivid that Paimon thinks it might be experience talking.
Oh, it certainly is. I've seen my fair share of situations like this, and brute force methods are certainly one way of resolving them. Fortunately, I have far more elegant solutions at my disposal. I'll show...
Well then, since you're so experienced in dealing with problems like this, Perhaps you could help me.
Oh, that won't be a problem. But first, Mr. Chow, can I ask you to please sign this
Huh? Does there have to be a contract for everything? Paimon can't even... It feels like Yanfei is even more concerned with them than a certain someone else we know.
These are my formal terms of engagement. Everything prior to now has just been pro bono advice. But for me to investigate any further, I require a written
Look,
contract.
I should make references to Zhongli just
Any
not
work
caring about
commissioned
the
but not
contract,
bound
so
by a
like,
contract
I'm not going
cannot be
back onto
relied
that
upon.
anymore.
I understand. Then I will be glad to place this matter into your capable hands if you will take it, Miss Yunfei.
No problem. Just sign here, and I'll sign too. Okay.
Paimon's just
now
like getting
write your address
trauma
here,
from
then sign on this
contracts.
page as well. And I'll also need your signatures on pages
She
5,
was seeing
7,
that-
and on
Gwen
the very
also
last
she's in
page.
pain.
Finally, if you could just use this ink pad to make a handprint over here.
This contract has so many pages.
All right, that should do it. My fees are the same as always, and they're written in the contract.
I've had a read through. Everything checks out.
Jeez.
Well then, here's your copy of the contract. I will retain the other copy. Not for now, no. Despite how intractable this problem might sound, it will actually be quite straightforward to resolve. Once we've got some... I don't believe you have been part of an investigation like this before, in which case, hopefully this should be quite the experience.
Miss Yunfei, I have to ask, why are you helping me?
Because, as it happens, I'm currently trying to acquire some Smaragdus Jadeite myself. I noticed strong traces of geoenergy around Mr. Crossel, so perhaps he has, in fact, secured some. Whether he actually made it into an item of jewelry or not is a separate matter, but either way, it's a lead. As long as we follow it, who knows? We might just be able to get our hands on some Smaragdus Jadeite. Also, the idea of someone abusing the law to their advantage, I won't stand for it. But again, let's not dwell on this. Let's go to... where can we find someone who processes ore? Ha! I've got it!
Lore.
Let's pay a visit to Chateau, the boss of the Jade Mystery. He's a professional when it comes to working with stone and ore. If Mr. Crossel had his ore worked on at all, Chateau would undoubtedly have been his first choice.
I know you. Welcome. Hello, friend. Again.
Why, hello there, honored customers. Welcome to... Oh, it's you, Miss Yanfei. Is something the matter? Surely not more spurious claims.
No, nothing of the sort. Has a Snezhnyan merchant named Crossel enlisted your ore processing services recently by any chance?
A Snezhnyan merchant... I do remember that. He brought me that was the first time I'd ever encountered it, so I had no way of telling if it was really Smaragdus Jadeite or not. But if a customer insists, far be it from me to contradict them. He was quite generous with his money, too, so I didn't give it too much thought. I processed the ore as per his...
Do you have any...
Why, yes. It was my first time encountering this ore, after all, so...
Thank you, sir. We'll take a look at them.
He just... Sure, can I use my elemental?
Betting on Jade?
Okay, my elemental vision isn't working, apparently. Can I change its keybind? Because elemental. Elemental sight. Okay, can't change the input for that apparently, which sucks.
Try your luck betting on Jade?
I just can't do it here. So let's have a look then.
Huh? If my eyes don't deceive me, the cross-sections and patterning suggest that these are Smaragdus nephrite shavings.
Oh no. Either he's been duped or he's just duped
Yes.
someone.
It's not particularly rare, nor is it especially valuable. It's used to make jewelry all the time. I've heard it said that Smaragdus nephrite is in fact the outer layer of Smaragdus jadeite, though no one's ever proven it.
A thin layer of separation, huh?
Well, then wouldn't it be just as rare?
If you must see for yourself, try examining these shavings for traces of elemental energy. Smaragdus nephrite
I'll show
is
you
an
that
entirely
too.
ordinary ore, containing no element.
Is that so? So, did you find anything? So they really are different. But wait, how come Jichao was able to tell what it was just by looking at the shards?
There's nothing special to it. It just so happens that I've come across a great... These two stones actually look very similar. Someone without a deep understanding of them would find it very difficult to tell them apart. There may be only a subtle difference for the casual viewer, but that translates to an astronomical difference in terms of the market price, and, I'm sure, a significant difference in the cost of having them carved into shape.
All right, let's focus up. We're going off on a tangent.
But never mind, Shirto. Why would Mr. Crossell...
Unusual actions have unusual reasons behind them. Let's take some of these shavings back to Chateau.
Miss Yenfei? Might I be so bold as to inquire,
If you could just confirm for me once more, sir. Mr. Crossell did indeed claim that the ore he brought to your store was in fact Smaragdus jadeite, did he not?
Yes, that's right. I still have a record of the job with me, in fact. Here. It says quite clearly, 1 chunk Smaragdus jadeite, uncut.
Then I have no further questions. But could I borrow...
Of course.
Oh, I have my reasons. Ah, yes. Please sign here on this affidavit. This document shall serve as...
Yes, I see. Forgive me for asking again, Miss Yenfei, but might I know
He's
the
a very
nature
unique
of
voice
the
actor.
incident on this occasion?
I wouldn't say there's been an incident, just a minor issue. Thank you, sir. I'll take these with me.
With this hard evidence to back us up?
On the contrary, this is far from sufficient. If you want to make jewelry, you need a professional jewelsmith. Let me think. Jewelry. Jewelry. Nope. Aha!
It's a
Got
book
it.
of everything.
Singsi. She often helps people to find a jewelsmith. Let's go pay her a visit.
Well, that was quick. How come you know so many people?
Because lots of people come to me for legal advice every day. As you know, Liyue Harbor is the city of contract, but the amendments made by the Tianquan to our laws are unnecessarily complicated. How can I put this? It just seems like they're hard to understand and impossible to finish. As such, legal advisors like myself provide quite the popular service indeed.
So you help them make sense of the law. But didn't you say that it's hard to understand and impossible to finish?
Yes, well, that's no obstacle because I've memorized all the legal codices. You sound surprised. Knowing the law inside out is a... Oh, this has nothing to do with being an adeptus. I just like reading things.
I like how they're just listening and they just
with
don't
that
care.
casual tone.
Well, that's that then. Let's go look for Singsi.
No, I think you should... Maybe you didn't know that the person was... Maybe you're doing a sabotage? With like, by giving her hairpins that are actually not good. Oops, wrong one.
Oh, Miss Yenfei, it's you. Has something happened? Did the client from last time,
Have no further trouble from then on? Yes, of course. I'm just here to ask you a few questions. Has a merchant by the name
just
of
so
Crossell
waiting
asked
every
you to
time
put
she
him in
comes here.
contact with a jewelsmith recently?
Crossell? Yes, I remember him. He's a merchant from Snezhnaya, no?
The only the
Yes,
most
he came to me with a
respectful
chunk of something he called
people.
Smaragdus jadeite. The design of the hairpins that he gave me was quite intricate, so it took me some work to find someone who was up to the job. Eventually, I found an older jewelsmith who made them exactly according to his specifications. This order was on hold for a very long time, and only completed quite recently, which is...
Doesn't seem like there's any evidence to be found here.
Miss Inksy, I'd like for you to confirm for me once more. When Mr. Crossell commissioned you to find him a jewelsmith, did he or did he not assert that the material he presented...
Yes, I'm sure of it. The hairpins were
God,
made using
oh my
many
God, she
expensive
talks so long.
materials, and the asking price
Oh
was
my
quite high,
Lord.
so we had to put this transaction on record with the Ministry of Civil Affairs. Mr. Crossell wasn't very familiar with the necessary procedures. I also kept a copy for my own records.
Oh, thank God we don't have to
See for
travel.
yourself. The inlaid gemstone is recorded as Smaragdus jadeite. The document even has...
Thank you, Sinksy. And
sure, it isn't so...
Nothing you need to worry about. Just a minor issue.
Why is everyone's first reaction always to assume someone or something?
I believe we have almost all the evidence we need.
The weirdo with the snake around his neck?
Because only he can provide an authoritative statement confirming that Smaragdus... Once we have this final...
Yari does it. Might be faster to go up from here. This is a guess. And it's more fun.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, I think it is faster. Because it's just higher up. Bow, bow.
Don't blink!
My purpose is like if someone comes up to you, right? Often because they need to, not often because you know someone's in trouble, and you are involved. I think everyone will be terrified.
My, to what do I owe the pleasure? Though I'm afraid that if you're looking for our little Chi-Chi, she's out gathering herbs.
Okay.
And if it isn't Miss Yenfei as well, now that's an even rarer honor. What business brings you here, might I inquire? Some charlatans peddling ineffectual medicines again, no doubt?
There is doubt there.
No. I'm here this time to ask if...
Smaragdus jadeite? Why, yes, there is some information about it
Hello,
included
Snake.
in the 6th commentary on the 7 Mountain Treatises. The 7 Mountain Treatises states that this substance springs forth from stone marrow within the mountains, and will bring disaster to any mere mortals who touch it. It is abundant in elemental energy, so if someone without a vision is in contact with it for a prolonged period, best case scenario, they fall ill. Worst case scenario, they'll suffer great changes in personality and their... Anyway, I'm sure you didn't come all this way just to chit-chat. I suppose that you're about to ask me to write an official affidavit attesting to the pharmaceutical...
That is indeed the case.
No trouble at all. It's just a single document. Won't take me a moment. I would mention, though, that you are not the only one who's developed a curiosity for Smaragdus jadeite recently. But after I gave him my reply, his expression shifted to one of remarkable disappointment. I wonder, Miss Yen...
You needn't concern yourself about that, Doctor.
You're too kind. Take
Oh
care
my
now.
God, the amount of text in this.
That Baidu guy is as weird as ever. Is it just Paimon, or does it feel like he was fishing for something back there?
Dr. Baiju's always been like that. Well, we have the evidence we need.
Oh my God.
Let's go find Mr. Crossell.
Mr. Crossell, we've prepared a 20-page essay about about how you are selling bullshit.
Miss Yanfei, have you finished your investigation? I trust you will now be in a position to assess the compensation due.
No.
Yes, my investigation is indeed concluded.
Wonderful. Well then, please.
Of course. According to the stipulations of the contract, Mr. Crossell, you must pay Mr. Chow 10 times the original transaction price in Mora.
Sure. Wait, what? Me pay her? Surely there's been some kind of mistake, Miss Yanfei.
Not at all. According to my investigations and the material evidence that we've gathered, the substance claimed to be Smaragdus Jadeite that was inlaid within the Smaragdus Jadeite twin phoenix pins that you rented out to Mr. Chow was, in fact, Smaragdus Nephrite.
Oh.
Now, the contract states very clearly that 10 times the price shall be paid should the article not be genuine. Accordingly, you are liable for this sum, which is payable to Mr. Chow in Mora.
Material evidence? What material evidence? Why, Miss Yanfei, you cannot frame me like this. I spent a huge sum to obtain that Smaragdus Jadeite, and yet you claim that the ore inlaid on the hairpins is somehow fake? I demand to see your evidence.
She's nine.
Indeed.
Challenging a
Only
Leo
a testimony
person.
from an expert witness involved in the processing of the ore can serve as an authoritative assessment of whether it is genuine. Traveler, please. This is a processing record from the Jade Mystery, along with stone samples and an affidavit signed by the business owner, Chateau.
Seriously? Even the boss there couldn't differentiate between Smaragdus Jadeite and Smaragdus Nephrite. How does this prove anything? In any case, Smaragdus Nephrite is the outer layer of Smaragdus Jadeite. So I had him cut away the Nephrite, he returned the valuable Jadeite core to me, and some Nephrite samples remain in the store. What am I missing exactly?
That's an unsubstantiated belief.
Well, your claim that my ore is fake is just as unsubstantiated. And we are here to talk about evidence on—
Ugh. Looks like our first piece of evidence didn't convince—
Hard evidence. Something legally binding.
This document proves that my hairpins are the real deal, doesn't it? This is the Ministry's seal, after all. It shows that the ore inlaid on the pins is indeed Smaragdus Jadeite.
Our second piece of evidence didn't work either.
You know, you could be right. Perhaps the hairpins are the—
Of course I'm right. All the evidence shown—
Well, hang on a moment now, because I do recall, Traveler, would you do
That
the
is the
honors?
smuggest face.
What's this?
Nani?
Smaragdus Jadeite springs forth from stone marrow within the mountains and will bring disaster to any mere mortals who touch it. Sustained contact with Smaragdus Jadeite over a prolonged period will, in less serious cases, cause a mild malady, while in serious cases, the patient may suffer a dramatic change of personality and fall
Someone needs to give me
seriously
$100 every
ill.
time I've heard that
Mr.
one
Crossell,
line.
were you aware of these peculiar properties of Smaragdus Jadeite?
I had no idea.
Oh, that's a little...
No idea, you say? I'd guessed as much. But for you to have rented out such a dangerous item, I'm afraid that this falls outside the scope of my work, but within that of the Ministry of Civil Affairs. However, I'm sure that the Ministry will be relatively lenient considering that, as you say, you were ignorant of the danger you posed. Don't worry, Mr. Crossell. I will make sure that all the evidence presented here will be handed over. I trust that you'll give them your full cooperation in their investigations.
What? Wait! I knew.
Oh, so you knew?
Oh my god, that
dear
face
Mr.
is...
Crossell.
Oh.
But if you knew of Smaragdus Jadeite's dangerous properties
Okay, this is actually
beforehand,
great.
why would you...
Huh? No,
aren't actually inlaid with genuine Smaragdus Jadeite? You do understand, Mr. Crossell, that this means that you will have to... Mr. Crossell, your answer, please. My client and I are waiting.
He's seriously intimidating right now.
I admit it. I confess. The ore I had it, but I'm a victim in all of this too. I invested a great deal of time and money into acquiring that small amount of Smaragdus Jadeite, in the hopes of turning it into a piece of jewelry that would fetch a fine price. But after receiving it and carrying it around for a few days, I started to feel extreme discomfort. I went to Boo Boo Pharmacy to get myself checked out, only to discover that this sort of stone cannot be... That's why I had another pair of hairpins made from Smaragdus Nephrite, which is almost... I kept the real Smaragdus Jadeite and especially made... I was worried that someone would see through it, which is why I only dared to rent them out, not sell them.
Exactly. If they weren't the real deal, why'd you make...
I didn't want to either, But when I purchased that Smaragdus jadeite, some of my business partners found out. I knew they'd be watching closely. If
She's not
word
an
got
idiot.
out that I sold a pair of fake hairpins, then my
All right, let's cut the appeals phase right there. I failed to see what bearing any of this has on your transaction with my client. According to the contract, you must pay Mr. Chow 10 times the original price in Mora, and that is final.
That's leeway.
10 times.
Croso looks like he could faint any second.
As for me, according to my contract with Mr. Chow,
20%? That's as much as I...
There's no need. Even if the Smaragdus jadeite
No,
on those
contract!
hairpins was fake, I still bear responsibility.
Ms. Chow.
However, Mr. Crossell,
only
since you have
9
no
times
use
the
for that
amount.
chunk of Smaragdus jadeite, why don't you give it to me instead?
What? But I...
Miss Yunfei, I'll turn the Smaragdus jadeite over to you.
well, that's not quite how the rules say that.
Thanks so much for your help.
Oh, come on. No need to stand on ceremony. Now, if I... Well then, that's good. Mr. Crossell, it seems that my client has no further claim.
Is that so?
Actually, Mr. Crossell, I could see from the hairpins you produce that you're very skilled in jewelry design. My family, on the other hand, works in the ore business. If we could join forces, your jewelry...
Okay, cool. You guys can talk business now. We don't care.
Well,
Hurry up
that's
with this.
And we've got the Smaragdus jadeite that Granny wants too. All's well that ends well, eh?
Exactly. Usually when someone tells us they've lost something, we end up searching all over the place for it. But this time, you managed to... even though the solution didn't involve...
The right solution depends on your perspective. The objective of my client, Mr. Chow, was to reduce her liability in Adeptus. Speaking of, you took part in that battle, didn't you? In which case, you would have heard what Granny said. Liyue Harbor is now a city ruled by humans. The title of Adeptus means precious little to me compared to my job as a legal advisor. In any case, don't you think that the Liyue Harbor of today needs legal consultancy far more than it needs adeptal powers?
It's very cool
I
box,
can
yes.
think of someone who would definitely disagree with your reasoning.
Well, since we got what we came for, it's time to pay Granny a visit.
Smaragdus jadeite. Nice.
Incoming.
So a toxic material fetches a high price. Alright. That's fine. You just gotta sell. Oh, that's still so silly to me. Here, here you can pay like 100,000 more for a material that will probably kill you. No, probably poison you.
Ah, you've returned. How did it? Good. Then we have all.
Well, if we're all set, Granny, I'll get going now. Got it.
Oh, you. All right then. Go see to your business.
And your
Granny should
little
be able to
reindeer
handle
horns.
the rest.
Yes.
I'm off then. Bye. Oh yes, Traveler. Make sure you don't lose the business card I gave
Oh
you.
my god, can you imagine just
I've
bringing
been
in
looking
all
into the laws
this?
of other nations as
Imagine
well.
all these
If you
alliance.
should ever bump into any
Oh my
trouble with
God,
the
the
law,
alliance.
come find me directly. Regulars get discounts too.
Come now, child. Are you leaving or are you not? If you have no wish to leave, perhaps you'd like to help me clean my teapot.
I'm leaving. I'm leaving.
Oh my god, listen.
That child. Goodness knows where she learned to be so rambunctious. Ah, indeed she is. Liyue has changed, and the Adepti must also learn to change. Yanfei might be overly garrulous, but she is also the most intimately acquainted with the city among us all. Ah, Liyue is not the same. All right then. Let us speak of this no more. Back on topic.
Wait, what did she do?
I
Did she
believe
just
that I
sit here
still
the entire
owe
time?
you a little gift.
Did she just sit here the entire time?
I'm so excited!
It is but a single teapot. It shan't take long at all.
And not long for an Adeptus is around 300 years, so. Just wait a second.
There we go. This serenity pot is all yours. Now hold it firmly. If you were to drop it, oh goodness, who knows what might happen. Take these blueprints with you as well. You'll need them if you wish to make your teapot a little more lively inside.
Wait a minute, Granny.
Oh, you needn't worry about that. I've already arranged for a certain little helper to await you within this teapot.
Ah. Nice. Just in. Ooh, which one to pick? A floating boat or Emerald Peak? Yeah, I'm gonna go Emerald Peak. Maybe I should go to Cool Isles. Okay. Oh, I don't know. Because I know I just know there's a place somewhere around.
This teapot seems even bigger inside, huh? But there's just a whole load of nothing around it. Paimon can't be still. Oh, wait a second.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh my god, this is amazing. Duck.
Well, it seems that we have a visitor.
It's a huge finch!
Excuse me, I am not a finch. I am a teapot spirit, and you may call me... hang on a moment. What am I supposed to be called
Oh,
again?
oh, don't tell me a name.
Oh, call me. I suppose you may call me...
So you're the little...
Madam Ping? Oh, you must mean Ping. Yes, you may leave all matters regarding the Your journey may be far from over. But at least though it is the Adepti who create realms such as this, they generally do not have the time of thus. We teapot spirits were You may consider me a butler. Now, allow me to explain this realm to you. Have you any blueprints on you? As long as you have a blueprint, you can refashion this realm however you please.
Blueprints?
Let's look where we go.
Yes, these are the blueprints I'm talking. Just commit the image of the objects to memory, then simply release the thought from your mind.
Wow! Is that all it takes? Then we could build a whole city inside, couldn't we?
I doubt it. A golden-eyed adeptus explained this to me at some point in the past. He said that even though subspace creation is a product of adeptal power, this world is not a true one after all.
A golden-eyed adept?
I hardly remember myself. What's more, well, let's not dwell on if there's any...
Jeez. I don't like the way they display text. That's one thing I dislike. Okay. Wait a second. Oh, they can just fast travel. Oh, that's okay. That's useful. So spirit inside the Serenity pot. Nice. And basically just don't be a bad person, I think. Ooh. Maybe I should like make a big circle. It's like something very simple. Something simple and generic. It's gonna be like a town circle. Oh, this is nice. Oh, hello, Goldie. Welcome to the stream. It's actually so cool. So this is the housing system. Alright. That's very cool. Okay, let's talk to Tubby. Are you still here, Goldie? No. Whatever. So what's any? Oh, okay. Oh, so this is for inviting friends. Okay. Nice. Wait, so how do you leave? Wait, so how do you leave?
Maybe you're not used to the place at the moment, but once you've materialized...
Oh, that's yep. Oh, nice. Also,
If you ever have...
so how do you leave? How do you leave? How to leave the Serenity Pod?
Come on, enough procrastinating. Let's go.
Wait a second, so if I go to inventory, and you just... Hold up, you place the teapot inside the teapot and go out of the teapot, what? Okay. That's not strange. Nice though. That's pretty good though. I'll probably have to end my I'll probably have to I'll end stream here. However, it's I'm off screen. I'm going to have to figure out how to like continue on. would like to thank you all for watching, and goodbye.